Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel Zaleski, and today we are going to talk about high school playoffs, college football, and NFL once again. Joining us now is Jason Zaleski, our sports expert. So Jason, we had a couple fall sports come to an end, and another one nearing championship status. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, these are exciting times, high school playoffs, and you said yet again we're talking about that. Well, that's because it's just that time of year. It's an exciting time. These kids get to go to all new places, places they've never been, maybe even go to state, and they get to have all those experiences, all that fun, stay in hotel rooms, go to restaurants, go to a press conference. Are you kidding me? You know, that's kind of my habitat. So when I see those kids that are familiar to us at those press conferences, that just makes it even more special. So, well, all right, well, we'll get tidied up here on playoffs. So soccer. Ended WIAA soccer. We had 4 division champions this year, Rachel. In Division I, Marquette University, and well, no wonder. Marquette obviously can beat any high school team. No, so Marquette in Division I, Division II, Whitefish Bay, Division III, Mount Horeb, and Division IV was Prairie School. So that was soccer. Volleyball action got really exciting around here. We've got a highlight coming up in just a minute to showcase that. But as we go through some winners, we had a surprise. In Division I, River Falls had only lost a handful of games. Forget about matches; they were undefeated, but they had only lost a handful of games coming into the state finals, and they were bounced in the championship game by Burlington, 36-10 on the year. A great season, but certainly going up against that River Falls team, that was a big shock to see the Burlington team beat River Falls in the Division I state championship game. Division II, Lakeside Lutheran defeated Luxembourg Casco. Division III, Lake Country Lutheran defeated Regis. And in Division IV, the Clayton Bears defeated Lord's Academy. Division III, our own Stratford Tigers here, Rachel, they went to state and they played against Regis, who I just mentioned that lost, was a state runner-up this year. Stratford, those girls had a great run. They've got a bunch of good players coming back. They will miss Michaela Kroll as she now heads off into the sunset of her high school career. We'll keep tabs on her as she forwards now into her adult life. We do have some highlights of that game, so we'll show it was a really exciting match between Stratford and Regis. Stratford won the first 2 games, Regis won the next 2, and we'll pick up highlights right here in Game 5. Stratford had flashes in Game 5, yet this match belonged to Regis as they take the game 19-17 and the match. Stratford coach Brooke Kafka reflects on the game, the season, and what we can look forward to in 2018.
I think we have no reason to be hanging our heads at this point. It was an amazing season for all of us. You know, we got put in some situations where we were down and we had to dig ourselves out of a hole, and it just came a little too close at the end and we couldn't pull it off.
I don't know. I just feel like the communication we could have done a lot better on, and things just weren't going in our favor, so. Coach,
when you needed a spark, as you've done all year, Lauren Nagel comes into the game, gives you that spark, just that energy on the floor. Just talk about her now. I know it's tough to look forward to next year, but you've got her now for a few years. How do you take that spark and bring it back?
You know, she was really hanging her head at the end of the game, and there's no reason to. You know, you step in and you know, provide some really great things for us during crunch time, and she has for the last how many games for us in playoffs. It's a hard spot for anybody to be in, let alone a freshman coming off the bench. And you know, I told her after the game, I said, this is just the beginning for you. We have a lot more ahead of us, and especially you have a lot more ahead of you. So, you know, let's focus on the good things that we did.
All right, Jason, talk to us a little bit more about football now.
All right. Well, football action is close to winding down. Now, we are going to crown some champions here in just a week and a half. November 17th is state championship final down in Camp Randall, Madison. We're very much looking forward to that. We've got some games left, though, to see who will even have the chance to go to Madison. And all those games happen this Friday, the 11th at 7 p.m. at their respective homes. You can go to WIAA.net to find out all the games and locations. A couple here to highlight. In Division I, the Kimberly Papermakers have won 68 straight games. 68. That's over the course of a couple seasons. So you can imagine what kind of ride they're on. And they will look for number 69 against Appleton North. They play over in Oshkosh. And then perhaps number 70 would be a win where they would be crowned state champions in Division I again this year. So we'll see what they do. In Division V, Amherst Falcons took out the Spencer Columbus Rockets 2 weeks ago. They took out the Stratford Tigers last week. And they now play Grantsburg up in Stanley at Forward Financial Field. And we've got just a short highlight to show you right now on Amherst and Stratford from last week.
Quarterback keeps the football. You've got to have better eyes up here in the press box.
As Gillespie keeps it again. Far side, he's down for 20. 15-foot race again. This formation again is Gillespie. He gives out the hold again inside.
Seniors, some of these guys will go on to play other sports this year. Some of them, this was their last maybe competitive event of their sporting career. What do you tell those guys now going forward?
You know, you always find out what type of team you have in 10 years from now and what type of men they are. And, you know, that's the thing about education and coaching. It's not all about wins and losses sometimes. And these guys are going to be great citizens, great Stratfordians. They're going to come back and part of our program. I look forward to seeing them grow up as adults because that's the type of people they are. And I'm more proud of that sometimes than anything else because I know we're doing the right thing and these kids are buying into it, and that's all. I'm just proud of that. You know, you look back at some of the family members that you see, your alumni, and you say, yep, he's doing it right. So.
All right, Coach, we had a great time watching this year. We look forward to next year. I know that seems like a long ways off now, but thanks for everything that you've done for us this year, and thanks for making it fun to watch Stratford Tiger football.
I appreciate any coverage we get, and, you know, today Tigers were 0 for 2, but we'll be back.
All right, and then rounding things off in WIAA football action this year, Abbotsford plays Bangor on Friday the 11th at 7 p.m. They'll play over in Chippewa. They take on Bangor, who beat Edgar in their quarterfinal action just last week, so we look forward to watching that game. You could also look forward to watching both Amherst and Abbotsford either in person or on FocusOnMarshfield.com. Those folks will be live streaming that game. And who knows, you watch Amherst, you might even see me on the game. So we look forward to seeing you there. And Rachel, that is high school playoffs.
Wow, that sounds like a fun time. Always state championships are exciting. Moving on to regional sports, the Zaleski Sports Show traveled to UW Stevens Point to watch the Pointers take on UW River Falls Falcons. So let's take a look at that highlight. Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show Highlight House, brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Nakusa. Ho Chunk Gaming Nakusa, located just south of Nakusa on Highway G. Ho Chunk Gaming, experience the difference. Hey Jason, tell us all about Senior Day at UW Stevens Point.
Yes, Rachel, you're right. It was Senior Day for all of these football Pointers as they hosted UW River Falls for this last game at Gerke Park. And on Senior Day, it was tough going for both offenses, as we saw miscues from both teams in the first half. Both teams experiencing drop passes and fumbles on this wet day. River Falls field goal attempt sails wide right. Things were slow going up until the final minutes here in this second half, and Michael Diggins starts to heat up, and Diggins finds the end zone. River Falls overcomes Stevens Point today 21-14. Let's go down to Coach Walker for post-game thoughts. All right, Jason here with the Zaleski Sports Show. We are with Coach Walker here. Coach, River Falls and the team comes in here to Stevens Point to get that conference win. Just talk about that and their impact on senior day. Maybe had a little bit to do with that 14-point swing at the end, but you held them off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that every coach in this league would agree. Any win in this league is special. Everybody's so good, and well, you gotta cherish times when you get a chance to win. Point's always been so good at home. They're really physical, which is something we preach. We knew we were in for a challenge there, and I think they showed the same kind of never quit attitude that we like to preach with our football team. And Coach Turnell does a great job here, and so if we can come in on their field and get a victory, it's a gigantic day for us. Super proud of our guys. We played super hard.
All right, Rachel, we've got two Highlight House players of the game coming up right now. Yes, we are here with our Highlight House players of the game, Max Proshak and Michael Diggins. Max, let's start with you today. We had 5 tackles, 3 sacks. What was going on out there? How'd you get to the quarterback so easy today?
We had a really good defensive blitz scheme, and hard for them to pick us up. I mean, if they're not picking me up, my guys are doing their job, and if they're picking me up, somebody else comes free. So it's just a team effort.
Now, I'm assuming in practice you've had a time or two trying to track down Michael here. He had, I guess, let's put it a different way. Pointers have a hard time tracking him down. Advice for other guys trying to tackle Michael Diggins in the future? Don't
take him high, I guess. He's a short guy. He's got great hips, but if you get him in space, he doesn't have very many breakaway moves. So if you get him in space, you'll take him down.
Excellent. All right, Michael, today 38 carries, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns. Could have been 4, right?
Yeah, a 4th. I wish it would have been a 4th, but it's all hats off to our O-line. They've played so well this year. They've battled through injuries. I mean, we're down to our 7th, 8th, 9th guys that have been in the lineup, and they just keep coming to work every day, and they're the heroes of the day for sure.
Now, I'll let you get back at Max here a little bit. So in practice, you take him down a time or two, right?
I try to. He's a heck of a player. You saw it today. This defense has been incredible all year. There's so many great pieces that Rocky Larson's put together as defense coordinator. It's just such a fun group to watch.
All right, Rachel, that'll do it here with these two. Back to you.
That was our sports expert, Jason Zaleski. Thank you to our sponsor, Ho-Chunk Gaming Nakusa. Ho-Chunk Gaming, experience the difference. You are watching the Zaleski Sports Show, Highlight House.
We're in the house.
Hell yeah!
Mike Diggins, I'm in the house.
Now he's got to be.
Hey, he's in the house tonight.
This Saturday, November 11th, we'll watch the Whitewater Warhawks host the Eau Claire Blue Golds. So, Jason, go ahead and just remind us again where we can see our WIAC schedule.
Yeah, all right. Well, the WIAC schedule is off on the website, ZaleskiSportsShow.com. And you can check in there for any highlights of any games that we've covered. And there's been 9 so far. And we'll wrap up the season here with our 10th game. It's the final conference game for all teams. And Rachel mentioned it. It's Warhawks, Blue Golds, and Senior Day down at Whitewater. So they'll congratulate all their seniors for their career thus far. And then we'll watch and see who wins. So check out ZaleskiSportsShow.com for all the highlights of that game and any others. And that will conclude, Rachel, our regular season WIAC football schedule. Winter sports coming up soon.
Ooh, can't wait for winter sports. Okay, so for our Sports 101 question of the week, why are there brackets, Jason? And how does this make sure that we have a true champion?
Well, so there's a couple different ways to crown champions in any sports. One would be just by a judgment. So for those familiar with Olympics, oftentimes those individual competitors are judged. And that can leave a lot to be debated, talked about, even argued or disputed. So a fair way is setting up those brackets and placing those teams alongside each other, and then they battle through those brackets, and they take care of their business on the field, the court, whatever it may be, and they play each other. So there's nothing left to judge. There's nothing left to guess at. At the end of it, there's one team standing, Rachel. That's why brackets are so exciting.
So subjective versus objective, right?
That's right.
Very cool. So, speaking of teams and how things are going, Jason, some teams are starting to separate themselves from the pack, like with the NFL, the National Football League. So, speaking of the pack, some are fading backwards, right?
Yeah. Well, and you'll have that during the course of the NFL season. We'll bring up the standings here in just a minute. If Stephen, keep us on the wide here for a second. So what we have, Rachel, and we talked about this starting back in week 1, that after about week 6, week 7, we'd have a real clear look at who was who and who was not. Yep. And injuries often have a lot to do with that. You've seen injuries, and the reason I asked for this wide look right here, some breaking news out of Minneapolis today.
Oh, no. What?
Sam Bradford placed on injured reserve. Teddy Bridgewater activated.
No
you kidding
way!
Me? Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater
Woo!
Coming back. So
let's see what you got, Teddy. I hope you improved some.
Well, I don't know. For Viking fans, you would hope that Bridgewater stays on the bench, I think, because Case Keenum's having a real nice run.
Absolutely.
And he's a number 3 as far as the depth chart is concerned. And we had the chance to meet Case back at Vikings training camp when we covered them back in August. But for them, the injury has maybe propelled them to a better quarterback. I always thought Bradford was junk and Mr. Floppy Sleeves. And I mean, listen, sometimes that's what an injury will do.
Feel. Just say it.
Sometimes
like
that's what an injury will do. Other times, you mentioned the Packers, Rachel. Now, Aaron Rodgers, out of this world quarterback. I don't think anybody would ever argue with that. And I think over his time, honest Packer fans and football fans, sports fans, would agree that he made up for a lot of dark spots on the team. He made up for a lot of weaknesses, weak links, blemishes, sore spots. We learned from John Gruden on Monday Night Football about turkey holes. Now he was able to defeat the turkey hole, and now without him, Brett Hundley, he was a 5th-round pick for a reason, as opposed to a 1st-round pick. He's got a lot to learn, and the Packers certainly probably have. I don't even know if it's an uphill climb. They may be just settled into their 3rd place as they were taken care of easily by the Lions. But these things happen throughout the course of an NFL season. So,
at least Brett has a nice smile.
He does have a nice smile. UCLA and 8 clap and all that going down in Bruin land. So we'll bring up the standings here and get us out of the glare. Here's what's interesting. Nothing has changed since last week, so the standings have stayed pat. There is one thing, though. Somebody put the Browns back on here, so I don't know how that happened. We'll throw the Browns back out. And then we're also going to throw the 49ers out. These teams are cooked. They're done. So whoever put them back on there, keep them off because they're out. They may as well not even be in the NFL this year. So, Patriots, Steelers, Titans, Chiefs, Eagles, Vikings, Saints, and Rams all holding 1st place for now. There are some challengers that are out there. The Jaguars will challenge the Titans yet this year. I would say the Lions and Vikings probably have some things to sort out yet. They're going to play each other twice yet, so they've got some issues to solve there.
A little scared.
Saints and Panthers probably. The Seahawks just got beat at home by the Redskins, so I don't think they'll challenge the Rams. The Cowboys and Eagles are separated by only 2 games, and they play each other twice yet. And the Cowboys are hot. They've won 3 in a row. And an interesting thing, Rachel, about that is all last year, especially towards the end of last year, Dak Prescott, Rookie of the Year, teams and people, even people around here were saying, well, the book will be out on Dak Prescott soon. The book will be out. Well, here's the book, right? This year, 20 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's got 49 touchdowns in his 23-game career. So if the book is out, the book is good.
Ooh, it's a good book.
And settle in and read that book because Dak Prescott's going to upset a lot of defenses. And the Kansas City Chiefs found that out just last week. And the Cowboys' defense is coming on, too. Held some Hunt running back there from Kansas City to only 37 yards on Sunday. So
that's all right, because I'm in 1st place with my fantasy football team.
All right. Is that what you want to talk about next?
And yeah, I'm sorry to just move on so quickly and abruptly. But
we're good.
Yes, so Shake and Bake, that's my team, fantasy football. We are in the lead. We beat this week. What's the name of that team? Fun with Wine?
Yeah. Now, when you say we, who are you talking about?
Stephanie's over here giving me the thumbs down sign because it's her team.
Hold on. Shake and Bake is we. Who's we? You've got a co-owner or you've got some other advisors? Who's
maybe
we?
I have other personalities inside that come out and tell me which ones to play.
Well, let's go through the standings here, Rachel. We'll talk about that. So you mentioned your team in 1st place, Shake and Bake in the West. The team has no name is in 2nd. Mamie Drew, Team Fun with Wine are both 5 and 4, so tied for third. So Stephanie, there's hope. There's hope.
There is hope.
And speaking of hope, Team Joe Buck Sucks was left for dead. He's won now a couple in a row. He's tightened up the race there in the West. He's only just a couple games behind you, Rachel, so watch out for Mr. Sievert. In the East, things are also kind of shaping in a certain way. Team Megahertz, Chris Warren is in the lead at 6-3, your counterpart there in the East.
Bring it, Chris.
First Year Last is in second place. Big Ballers and Tiger Snooze, that's me. We're both tied for third. And the Avengers, Malachi. If I had a magnet for Malachi, I'd throw them down there with the Browns and the 49ers, I think.
Malachi, did you play a kicker this week? Was he on by still?
Boy, I hope so. So we've got some interesting games coming up. I mentioned Tiger Snooze. I get to play the first place team, so I kind of control my own destiny there. Stephanie and Steven are going to go at it, so that's kind of an interesting game there. And then Rachel, I mentioned Team Joe Buck Sucks plays you on Sunday. So
Bring it.
If you want to stay in first place, you're going to have to beat Mr. Sievert, Adam there. So there you go. Fantasy football update.
Thank you for the update. So thank you everyone for watching. This has been the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host Rachel, and this is Jason. You can find us on Facebook at Zaleski Sports Show or on Twitter at Zaleski Sports. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.
Go Sports!